Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw. This is Matt Chat. That's right, it's Sunday. That means that we throw all of our questions out to the Friendoverse, the patrons at $20 and up. That's right, at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. $20 a month. You can participate in Matt Chat. You can get your video question read right here on the show. Want to say thanks to all the patrons out there for supporting Going In Raw.
Thank you.
It's because of you that we get to do this for a living.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because
of you, I get to leave here in about a week. 1 week from today. Then when I ever ask Alabama, what are we going to do on the plane? Plane's going to crash. That's what she says. Plane's going to crash.
That's horrifying.
So if the plane crashes and I die, you got to find a new co-host.
I'll just do this solo.
Just really?
Yeah, man. It was such a delight when I did it on Monday.
It's not.
It's tough.
It's terrible.
It's tough.
Yeah, and I like Matt Chat even more because we get to do even less of the work.
Yeah.
More people chip in.
Yes.
For the work, and they pay us to do it.
I know. It's a great system.
It's mind-boggling. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the first Matt Chatter. It's Christopher Rappersad. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. So my question is, why is WWE lazy to bill matches to pay-per-views? That means, why are they lazy to put on the same matches that we just saw a few weeks ago or a few months ago? Like Seth versus Baron. Or like an opponent, like Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Like, did you really need to bring Alexa Bliss to SmackDown to face her? There's like a million other people on SmackDown who are not doing nothing. Why do you feel like Stomping Ground is a lazy pay-per-view going in?
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher.
Before you answer, quick reminder, we'll be doing a reaction live stream today, starting about, I don't think they've announced what match will be on the pre-show, kickoff show.
No, they haven't. So we're going to be there for it.
We'll say 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, this Sunday, Stomping Ground. I know everybody's super excited for it. Anyways, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, speaking of Stomping Ground, Larson, why is the WWE's been lazy with the booking for it? I'll go first, but I mean, you put your answer down first. I'll let you expand on that. Specifically, I'm going to say generally, broadly speaking, I think there's some level of freaking out over October. SmackDown on Fox is going to be debuting, and as we've seen, they've sort of dug themselves into a weird hole due to the lack of advanced planning and foresight. It's surprising to me that during negotiations to get SmackDown on a different network, there was no talk, apparently, about roster, creative, how that's going to work. We saw this past week 1.85 million viewers for SmackDown. Is that, I don't know, is there an indication historically, context, how low that is?
Second lowest of the year.
Second lowest of the year.
And this year's kind of hit record lows, non-holiday lows.
Yeah. And so ratings are nowhere near where Fox is going to want them. Obviously, Fox is on a network. They're going to have a ton of advertising. But SmackDown right now, it feels way too tied to Raw. And that thanks in part to the wild card rule, which you're going to get into. But I kind of think that overall, the wild card rule and everything in general, it just has to do with, man, we've got this huge TV deal coming up that's going to start in about 5 or 6 months. And we really need to figure something out for that. Less than that. We're at 4 months away.
Yeah, less than 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months away.
October 4th.
And that's why I think that, I mean, does it have to do specifically with Stomping Grounds? I think they're trying stuff. They're trying stuff that in theory would address the problems that Fox has with how SmackDown is, and it's going the wrong way. They're making it worse. So that's how I feel. Go ahead.
WWE has been creatively bankrupt for about a year at least. The feuds tend to last longer than they should. And part of that is because you could argue there's too many pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. So if you have a monthly pay-per-view and you have a storyline that you want to run for 3 months, typically pay-per-views would serve as either some sort of pivot point for the storyline or a blow-off. And far too often we have these pay-per-view matches which happen and really have no bearing on the larger story being told.
Yeah.
That happens far too often, especially at B-level pay-per-views like Stomping Ground. So you look at the card for Stomping Ground, you realize, oh, why are there all these rematches? That's why. Because they're like, well, we don't know how else to continue the story in an interesting fashion, so we'll just have a rematch. We'll have an ending that leaves it a little bit open somewhat to continue the feud and have a blow-off at one of the major shows.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, wild card rule has been a major problem. We get the same 4 or 5 stories dominating both shows. So none of the non-main event storylines were really given a lot of TV time to develop. And then the time they do dedicate to, for example, to Shane McMahon, a lot of it's just spinning wheels.
Yeah.
How many times has he dropped virtually the same promo on both Raw and SmackDown?
Yeah.
It happens way too often. And now they're treating SmackDown essentially as a Raw recap show where a good chunk of the show is dominated by either recaps that just happened on Raw or promos almost word for word the same exact they were on Raw. And it's almost like they don't understand that by and large wrestling fans watch wrestling. So if you watch Raw, odds are there's like 85% chance you will watch SmackDown. And you don't need all those recap packages. You don't need them. And they seem to proliferate far more now than they were 6 months ago. How many times lately has someone been in the middle of promos like, here, watch this piece of video?
Yeah, I know.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was like 2 weeks ago, the opening segment between Dolph and Kofi. There was like 3 breaks in it to throw to video packages. And it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary. It has to get to the point where you have to trust that your audience watches your programming. And I mean, it's not like the stories are so complex that there's like a massive point of entry, you know?
Right.
There's not a steep learning curve you have to, teach yourself in order to get caught up on where things are creatively. I mean, by and large, you don't have to watch the televised product. Just watch the pay-per-views, and you get all the major story beats with the video recaps they do before those matches.
Yeah.
Because the stories are not complex.
Nope.
It's a litany of issues, and a lot of them are long-standing. But right now, like the wild card rule is just grinding things creatively to a near standstill.
Yeah.
I think just because they just assume that if you watch Raw, you don't watch SmackDown, and vice versa.
That's such a silly thing to think. Like they've always had this weird idea that like there was a brand loyalty. It's bizarre to me because I don't think they believe it. I don't think like their business arm believes it. But creatively, sometimes they'll go to these places that they assume the audience is split between brands. And that's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. It's like, no, we like WWE for WWE. There's people on Raw that I like. There's people on SmackDown I like. So I don't know. It's all very silly.
And here's another thing, too. Like, if you don't stuff SmackDown full of Raw recaps, and say people haven't watched for a while, they'd say, oh, wrestling. It's Tuesday night. I'll watch SmackDown. And you don't give them the recaps, and people are kind of curious about what's going on.
They'll go back and watch it.
They might go back, or guess what? They might watch next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
I don't remember. I mean, I could be. I have no idea. I don't remember when SmackDown started. If they were before the first brand split, if there were like that many recap packages.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe they were, and just it was so damn entertaining that it was like, oh, cool, I'll watch this again.
The amount of recap packages in the last few months has gone through the roof.
It's been off the charts.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
Too much.
Let's see here. Speaking of too much, Guion Halili wants to know what would be too much of a particular thing. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey friendos, this is Jacksonville's #1 Matt Chatter, Guion Halili, back with another Matt Chat question for the week. This week's simple. What would be worse? Shane McMahon beating Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, or Roman Reigns beating Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship? Like, which one would have the worst reaction? I don't know. You guys pick. Steve, you've got Shane. Larson, you've got Roman. Let me know what you think. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Thanks, by the way, for what you guys do, the recaps and everything. I haven't watched wrestling, well, at least WWE, since Double or Nothing. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Guion.
What would be too much worse? Roman
worse, yeah.
beating Kofi or Shane beating Kofi?
I gotta start.
You get to start this one. This is an easy one. Go ahead.
It
This
is an easy one because if
your answer is right,
if Shane were to be the one to beat Kofi, at least you have a heel beating your face champ, and you know that Shane winning is a short-term thing. He's transitional champion at best. As much as it would be lame in the moment, you know there's going to be a path out of there. Roman winning or Roman beating Kofi right now would be awful for Roman.
it would kill two people. It'd kill Kofi and it would kill Roman.
And like Roman right now is at this point where I think the company wants him, where a majority of the crowd is finally coming around to supporting him, backing him, cheering for him. And then you got Kofi, who's basically universally beloved. Mm-hmm. And you're right. If Roman were to be the one, say at SummerSlam, to beat Kofi, The crowd would dump all over it. It would just it would both of them would suffer because of it.
It would solidify Kofi as a transitional champion for Roman.
It would, and it put Roman right back to where he was before he had to take his leave.
You know, it'd be crazy if they had Kofi beat Roman clean at SummerSlam. That would do wonders for both people. Because here's the thing: most wrestling fans at this point, I think, the diehards, anyways, they sort of view Roman as the guy who goes along with whatever Vince wants, and what Vince wants is Roman to be a top guy.
Yeah,
but if they did a thing where Roman lost to Kofi clean in the middle of that ring, there would be so much appreciation for Roman. And it's odd, it's silly, but there'd be so much appreciation for Roman. It's not like he has any control about that stuff.
No,
there'd be so much appreciation for him, and appreciation for the company.
Yeah.
That they would do something like that.
Yeah.
That it would heap tons of positivity on both those guys.
That's the one thing Vince never figured out with Roman is you can't just say, oh, he's my top guy, so he's going to win everything.
Yeah.
He's got to face struggle.
Yeah,
He's got to face adversity. He's got to overcome said adversity. And basically the whole time he was pushed from the lead up to WrestleMania 31 till he took his leave. That was Vince's mindset, and that was one of the reasons why a lot of the fans rejected him.
Yeah.
It's because, we know Reigns wins, basically. Yeah. We know he's going to win. It sucks the drama out of everything. We're tired of having Roman shoved upon us when we haven't embraced him yet. Have him overcome.
Now, I don't know
then
if
fans may embrace him.
My argument for Shane being worse would be, I'm not sure if Roman won, especially like at SummerSlam, which is a big deal. If Roman won at SummerSlam versus Shane winning might actually cause people to turn that damn channel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, Roman would be like, Roman. People might be so upset with the Shane winning thing that they might be like, well, screw this. Shane is essentially the Baron Corbin of like a Baron Corbin 2.0, you know? It's like people like him in a certain role that isn't too heavy.
Featured isn't that role.
Right, exactly. Right, Spotlight isn't the role.
No.
And so if he were to win that, it's like, dude, come on, that's just way too much. And they've changed the channel.
Yeah, I think short term, immediate, Shane would be worse. Yeah. Long term, it'd be Roman.
It'd be Roman. It'd be like, it'd just be grown. It'd be like, oh, really?
And it would set Roman back to where he was a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pre-leukemia thing. Next up, we've got Dakota Miley back with another Matt Chat question. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson, is Dakota Miley back with another Matt Chat question. My Matt Chat question this week: who's going to be the person to dethrone Velveteen Dream as the North American champion? I personally love his work, love what he's doing with the title. Him and Tyler Breeze killed it at TakeOver 25, and he's probably my favorite wrestler in WWE right about now. Question is, who's going to dethrone him? You know, there's a few ideas. I'm not going into spoilers of NXT tapings, but you know, you got a few ideas there. I'm just curious what you guys think. Thanks, friendos. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. See you next time.
Thank you, Dakota.
Thank you, Dakota. I go first.
Yeah.
And I'm holding to this, man. Undisputed Era, been talking about this endlessly. Being draped in gold. Roderick Strong will be even if it's going to be like for one brief, even TV set of tapings, maybe he'll lose it, or maybe somebody else will lose whatever they have. But for at least an episode of NXT TV, we will see every member of Undisputed Era carrying gold all together. They will be draped in gold. I think that necessitates Roderick Strong beating Velveteen Dream for the North American title. And it also necessitates Bobby Fish and the other guy, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Beating Street Profits, which I think is actually a bigger stretch than them beating Street Profits, because they're supremely over right now.
Yeah, they are.
I think that's a bigger stretch than Roderick Strong beating Velveteen Dream, to be honest with you. But that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's Roderick Strong.
Punishment Martinez.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think
that's a ways off.
Yeah, I think Velveteen Dream's going to have that belt for a little bit.
Yeah, okay. They like him a lot.
Yeah, they do. And Punishment. He's got a new name.
Donut Martinez.
He seems,
Donut Priest.
Donut Priest is a good
Damien Donut.
They seem to like him. He's got his own vignettes running right now where he's like
Party Boy,
maybe vampire. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they have high hopes for him. Mm-hmm. He's pretty good in the ring. So yeah, I could see him entering and maybe winning that North American title scene. Maybe.
What about bask in his glory?
Oddly, they've not really done much with Keith Lee.
I know, right? That's kind of weird.
Like he had that story, maybe going with Dijak. He got hurt, or there was creative changes first.
That was all weird.
And then Dijak got hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing with Keith Lee.
Yeah. You were gonna say punishment. You said maybe something?
Survivor Series.
Maybe Survivor Series. Okay. Cool.
So 5 more months, 4.5 more months.
All right.
Damian Priest. I want my title. And a donut.
Speaking of donuts, Wayne-Maker has a question.
Oh, gosh.
Let's see what he has to say.
Hello wankers, Wayne-Maker here, and I'm back with another match chat question as it's been far too long. And my question this week is a little family orientated thing. Now, on the last overrun we was talking about families, as you do, and I want you to nominate who you would like to be your WWE family. You are the child, you have to nominate 2 parents, 2 siblings, random uncle, crazy uncle, and a grandparent. But I don't want any John Cena's, Undertaker's, Vince, any of that. I just want you to use the characters that are on screen most of the time. So, Too Sweet, Hearty Handshake, Shoulder Lane. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Wayne-Maker.
Wayne-Maker.
All right, this will be my WWE family. My dad,
Let's hear it.
Big E.
Oh, it's a great dad.
Yeah, endlessly entertaining. Can be stern when he needs to be, though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just
You'd hate to disappoint him as your dad.
exactly. Otherwise, warm, funny.
Yeah.
Mom, Dana Brooke.
Okay.
I can see her taking mom tone.
She kind of sounds like a mom.
Yeah.
You know. Why you snuck out last night?
Why haven't you cleaned your room
Fine,
yet?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We got meatloaf coming.
But you don't get any till you clean your room.
I don't even like meatloaf.
Mom,
Dana Brooke.
my sister.
Don't be sour.
I know. My sister would be Ruby Riott. She'd be the older sister to say, here, you should listen to this music.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
My brothers would be the Singh brothers.
That's good.
My crazy uncle would be Barry Corbin.
Hey, son. Hey, nephew. Do you want to see my human skulls?
You like the uncle that comes over and tries to do a magic trick where he pulls the quarter from behind your ear. Usually the relative gives you that quarter.
Yeah, right.
Instead, he puts it in his own pocket. And then my grandfather would be R-Truth.
Oh, that's good. Your grandfather? 'Cause
Yeah.
He's super old.
Well, no, just because he seemed like a funny dude.
Oh, I forgot we needed a grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we go. I got this. I've got the Canellises as mom and dad.
All right.
They're fucking rich right now. They just signed a new contract. They are swimming in money. And so me as their child, plus they have the cutest little baby. It looks exactly like mom. It looks exactly like Maria Canellis.
Mm-hmm.
I follow her on Instant Media, Instagram.
Instant media.
So the Canellises are my rich mom and dad.
All right.
My uncle is, of course, Uncle Joe. I actually have an Uncle Joe, so it fits perfectly. He's not really my uncle. He's my dad's Vietnam buddy.
Yeah.
And so, but Samoa Joe would be my uncle.
All right.
My crazy uncle would be Uncle Drew. He's a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's a Scottish psychopath,
Yeah.
my crazy uncle.
Yeah.
He'd be like, ooh, come into my shed and see some pictures of dead people.
gosh.
What? Man, yeah. Anyways, I'd also have a crazy aunt, Nikki Cross.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. You want to play? No. And then my sister would be Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
She comes off as, but then she's getting kind of older now, so she's like, you ain't shit. She used to just hug me all the time. She loved her little brother. Now she's like, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
And then finally, my brothers would be the good brothers. It'd be too sweet all day long. They'd take care of me. I'd have to live up to their athletic prowess that they established records in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And they'd come to all my games, and they'd be the cool older brothers, and they'd get me beer.
Okay.
So there you go.
Cool.
Good family.
Good answers. Good answers. Next, debuting Matt Chatter, Free Chan
Maybe
64.
my new favorite Matt Chatter right here, to be honest with you. Free Chan 64. He's the best. Let's see him.
Hey, Stephen Larson. First time Matt Chatter here, Free Chan 64. Quick context, I'll try to keep my questions short, but I have aspirations to become a pro wrestler. And I live in Japan and I teach English here. I recently was given the opportunity to start training to become a professional wrestler. and it got me thinking. If you can have one training session with any Japanese pro wrestler, who would it be and why? I think for me, it would probably be Asuka because she's really cute. So yeah, there's that question. Who would you train with and why? I gotta go now. Gotta go teach Japanese kids English.
Thank you, FreeChan64.
Thank you, FreeChan64.
Those little kids are in for a treat.
You go first.
I'm going to say, well, okay, so I like your answer, but I'm going to go with this. He already runs the LA dojo, Shibata.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would be, if he's like, okay, now we're going to learn about doing headbutts, I would say, no.
You would just call him.
Oh, God. Oh, I can't do that. I have a permission slip from my mom. Who did I say my mom was?
Maria.
Oh, Maria Canellis. That says I can't do headbutts. But beyond that, I think that he's already out there training. I think the LA Young Lions are a team that are going to be debuting in Dallas, maybe.
I think that
forget
sounds right.
where.
I think that sounds right.
And so I'm very interested to see where they like how far along they've come under the guidance of Shibata.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, that's my answer.
If I'm answering seriously, if I want to be a real wrestler, I might say. Yuji Nagata. Apparently on Wikipedia, he helped train Kazuchika Okada.
Oh, snap.
Okada's, I think Ultimo Dragon was Okada's primary trainer.
Oh, wow.
One of his trainers. But it says here that Nagata was one of his trainers as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. That dude has a wealth of experience.
Yeah.
Been all over the world and had a hand in maybe training the greatest wrestler in the world today. Of course, that's Okada.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I'd probably go with Minoru Suzuki. Granted, as a young trainee, I'd probably be kicked in the face several times.
Yeah, sure.
However, it builds character.
I kind of feel like that's regardless of who you're getting as a trainer. You don't have a good teacher if they're not kicking your face.
Exactly. So I would go with Minoru Suzuki, the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, teaching me the ways of not only professional wrestling, but mixed martial arts.
And how to fight monsters.
Yes, and how to pile drive monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
And robots.
And robots.
Let us not forget the robot he vanquished.
Robots. Yeah.
So those.
He'd also be a good fashion teacher.
He would.
But then Shibata seems like he's got his hand on his finger on the pulse of good fashion too.
Mm-hmm.
So all good answers.
And go to the coffee shop after training with Minoru. Have a cup of.
He's not having a cup of coffee with you. You're just a trainee. What the heck?
Maybe I'm his favorite. What if I'm buying?
I don't think he'd like you. Yeah, maybe if you're buying.
Well, you don't think Minoru Suzuki and I could get along? We're both grumpy.
I don't think that's a good fit. I don't think he's that grumpy. I don't think he's grumpy at all. He seems like a very pleasant person.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can be pleasant sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe. Fine. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm about to board a plane. So what do I care?
Yeah, you don't care. Sure. Yes, Larson. You and Minoru Suzuki will be best friends.
Plane's gonna crash. Anyway,
He'll be my new co-host.
There you go. Oh, that'd be cool. Next up, Stephen M. Let's see what he has to say.
What's going on, guys? We just know NXT does stuff better than main roster. So main roster has a couple of gimmick pay-per-views each year, and NXT now has War Games, which they perfected. So what gimmick matches would you like to see NXT do, because they do it better? And even maybe 205 Live, like a ladder match. Personally, I think there should be a ladder match on WrestleMania each year. So who should be the first few to go in NXT to go Hell in a Cell? And book a Elimination Chamber and just random gimmick pay-per-views that you'd like to see in NXT.
Thank you, Stephen M.
Thank you, Stephen M.
All right. What other gimmick matches should NXT
I go first.
do? You go first.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Where's the poster we have for that? We have that poster somewhere.
We have a poster for that?
Yeah.
The Vader one?
Yeah, Vader and Cactus Jack. We had a poster for that.
It's around somewhere.
It's somewhere over there, I think.
Yeah.
That'd be it. And while that's not exactly a gimmick match, it's a wheel that has several different types of gimmick matches on there.
Unpredictable.
Yes. And one of them I'd probably put on there is your answer, which I'll let you reveal. But there's a whole litany of old school, really bad WCW gimmick matches, World War III, all that kind of stuff. Scaffold match, all those kind of matches. Put them on a wheel, have people spin it, make the deal, add a lot of unpredictability to the proceedings in NXT. Yeah. I think it'd be stellar.
I think it's great. I'm going to go with this Chamber of Horrors electric chair match.
Yeah, that should be on the wheel.
Of course, Abdullah the Butcher was, I guess, the loser of that match.
He was electrocuted, I believe.
Because he ended up in the chair and electrocuted, which is so dark. That was like the most grim shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch that like on the network. It's horribly grim. So yeah, I would do that. I think that could be pretty interesting. You know, like somebody like clotheslines Keith Lee, and he's like gets electrocuted. Oh, but I am limitless.
Bask in his glory.
That'd be very dramatic.
It would be, especially if like Damian Priest pulled the lever.
Oh man, oh.
Party boy, vampire, executioner.
Oh man.
50,000 volts going through you, Keith Lee.
Bask in his glory.
Bask in his glory.
Man.
Next from the Raptor.
It is I, the Raptor, with another Bat Chat question. And today, let us discuss the Fyter Fest announcement about the tag team tournament announcement that involves a first round bye for the team that advances to All Out. You see, I'm getting confused myself. So, fellas, is this how it's always going to be? Is AEW just going to try to be a sport, and when they're trying to be a sport, they're going to confuse us? Good day.
Thank you, the Raptor.
So, explain to the people who might not know what this is all
So, a
about.
few days back, I believe it was Fight TV maybe, put out a graphic that advertised a match for Fyter Fest. It was a triple threat tag match, Best Friends, SCU, and Private Party.
Mm-hmm.
Winner of that match was to face another team at All Out, and the winner of that match at All Out will get a first round bye in the tag team title tournament. It's pretty convoluted, I guess. My understanding, I read somewhere that the first version of that graphic.
Okay, so here's what it says. I don't know which one this is. Winners advance to All Out for an opportunity at a first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship tournament. That doesn't sound too confusing.
No, but it seems like it's a weird step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you have to win this match, then win another match to get the bye.
Okay, yeah. I wonder if this is the original wording.
I don't know.
Or if this is it fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, apparently I read that All Elite wasn't happy about the graphic getting out there at first. But it is what it is.
I wonder if it was. Yeah, I was unclear as to, because according to Sean Ross Sapp, if I remember it was him, he said something like they weren't unhappy with the wording nor the grammar or something, but they were upset about something.
I think it just got out there maybe before, like that Fight did it before they did it or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a little convoluted just having to go through that many steps just to get a bye, but it's I think it's pretty clear.
I mean, for sure, it should be winner gets a bye in the tag team tournament.
You think that match would get that? Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
But like, say Best Friends wins that. No, they're not going to win because Dark Order is going to interfere probably. Say Private Party wins that. That'd be cool. They get to face, I don't know, Young Bucks or something like that. Winner of that match gets the first round bye.
Winner of that match. So it's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever.
You think it'd be the easier route would just be have a match, and the winner of that match gets the first round bye.
Yeah.
Because you can have that match without the stipulation, and just whoever wins that match, just book in the match against whoever else, and then winner of that match.
I mean, look, man, here's the thing, and I know Raptor says this all in jest and everything, but like the bottom line is, it's a new company.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be mishaps along the way.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of stuff to do, and there's a lot of moving pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be, they're not going to be perfect.
No.
You know, I mean, I don't know. They might air their first episode on TNT, and a freaking Google search engine will come up, and then it'll go down really quick.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
But there's going to be problems.
There'll be bumps in the road.
And it's okay. Man, if WWE keeps on, if their ratings keep on going into the trash, this might be shocking. This All Elite thing might be shocking.
It really
October
could
rolls
be.
around.
Really could be. Next, Andy Nero.
Hey friendos, Nero here with a match check question, and this week it is regarding politics. Basically, I'd like you guys to debate and discuss who will be regarded as the bigger politic guy when all is said and done. Who would have held on to their spot the longest when they certainly don't deserve it? Hulk Hogan, the obvious answer, or Vince McMahon? Too sweet. Alright, handshake, take care, bye.
Thank you, Andy Nero.
Thank you, Andy Nero.
So,
Not really sure exactly what politicking Vince McMahon.
Let's approach it this way. So Hogan is an infamous politicker backstage, lobbying for himself to keep his position, regardless of company, or even to upgrade his position.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vince doesn't have to do that. He owns the company.
Yeah, sure.
However, and I don't know if there's any evidence of this, but for the sake of discussion, has Vince ever flexed his business muscle to give himself an advantage by politicking politicians? Has he ever done either directly or somebody on his behalf lobbied politicians for his own advantage?
Well, so for example, there was the stuff on was it TSN, the Canadian Broadcast Network, that carried Raw back in the day, where he had to Bruce Pritchard mentioned this on his podcast. He had to regularly go into these meetings with TSN and either defend his product, because their point of view was your show runs like basically in the late afternoon. It was like at 4:30 or something. It was like kids are more exposed to it. And so Vince constantly had to politic to keep his show on the air, and censor free, which I think eventually they just started censoring it or something like that.
Yeah, they had to edit parts out.
Yeah, they had to edit stuff.
Because I was wondering if at some point he had to politic, like the New York State Athletic Commission, to like get. I thought pro wrestling was regulated like boxing for a while.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think it is anymore. I could be wrong about that.
That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me also if there was maybe at the local level some amount of politicking when it came to him basically putting all those territories out
I'm sure
of
there would have to be a lot of money and a lot of politicking.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if he had a lot of playing one territory off the other and that kind of stuff.
Well, by and large, what he was doing is just poaching people.
Poaching talent. And then once the territory wasn't worth anything, swooping in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it does seem like this 73-year-old man has seen a lot in his day and had to do a lot to get his business to the point where he's cutting $500 million deals.
Yep. That being said, Hogan is like one of the most prolific politickers of our generation.
You'd agree, right? It's Hogan and Triple H, right?
I think Hogan's in a class of his own, man.
Oh, yeah. You think it's that? You think it's Hogan and everybody else?
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like it's Hogan 1, Triple H 2, and then everybody else. I think that those two.
Well, I think there's Hogan.
Yeah.
Triple H.
Yeah.
Well, Hogan, Triple H.
Yeah.
Maybe the Click. Michaels. He does his fair share of politicking. And then a pretty huge gap, and then maybe everybody else.
Yeah, that could be. But Triple H, man, he went through that whole big ass run, and to this day, he's literally running the company. Like he politicked his way into marrying the boss's
How
daughter.
long was his reign of terror? 3 years?
I don't know. I mean, I guess what was it, like 2000, 2003? Is that what it's considered?
I think officially, maybe a little bit later. Let's say be generous, 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that doesn't even account for all of Hogan's run in WWF, his first one. Or even his entire time at WCW.
Oh, I wouldn't. No, dude, you're getting me wrong. I would not stack Triple H up against Hulk Hogan. No, I understand that. But in terms of like, besides those two names, like those are the two most prominent. Yeah, Hogan's way at the top.
Yeah.
Totally understood that. That dude left for like a year, came back, trim, and just took the belt off Brett. Like I had one conversation with Vince, and he like after he retired at WrestleMania 8, WrestleMania 9, he breezes in and has the title. So don't get me wrong, Hogan is definitely like top dog.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying Triple H is a distinct number 2.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't think there's anybody close. I mean, yeah, you can say Shawn Michaels and the Click or whatever, but Triple H took that to a whole nother level.
Triple H had the moxie to go in Vince's office and try to convince him to have him main event WrestleMania 15, not The Rock.
Right. You know?
Yeah.
So, and he was probably almost successful too. I don't know. So I see what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, yes, Hogan's definitely number 1, and he's never going to be number 2.
I think the only argument is to be had is the gap between 1 and 2.
or 2 and the rest of them, yeah. But yeah, I think Hogan is, oh man. Like, people could dream to be that level of a politicker.
Yeah, Hogan ruined a lot of careers.
Yeah.
Based on his politicking. Next question from Renegade Soul.
Hey friendos, Renegade Soul here. No catchy moniker this week. Just a quick question for you. By the time that you see this, I will be heading over to Stomping Grounds with my best friend in the world to her first WWE show. So my question to you is, what would be your advice to first-time WWE goers? Now, to be fair, she's been to an NXT show when they came around 2 years ago, but to my knowledge, never a WWE show. So, question directed for her is, what would be some advice that you would give for enjoying the show, what to expect going into it, etc., etc. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Rock on. Peace out. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Renegade Soul.
Thank you, Renegade Soul. So, Larson, give the people some advice.
Since this is going to be a pay-per-view, that changes things a little bit. If you go to a TV taping, number one thing I would advise is to be patient, because proceedings are going to start and stop a lot. You'll have an entrance and you'll pop for somebody when they come out. You'll be really excited. Oh, their match about to happen. Guess what? Commercial break.
Yeah.
You got to sit around for a little bit.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen on pay-per-views. So you get a more consistent flow of the action. That being said, here's the thing. Just don't be a distraction.
Oh my God, yes.
Just don't be a distraction.
Don't try to make the show about yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a pretty chill time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it shouldn't be. It should be like frenzy. You're excited, but it's WWE now, so it's pretty chill.
Yeah, enthusiasm level is pretty moderate at best.
Yeah. So soak it in. Soak in the details that you don't typically get to see.
Yeah.
You know, like all the little stuff that happens around the ring, people running around doing stuff. Soak all that stuff in.
Yeah, depending on where your seats are too. If you're closer to the action, and you get an opportunity to interact with superstars respectfully, take advantage of that. Because someone like Kevin Owens is really good at responding back.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're close enough where you can actually interact with the superstars on a more direct level, then yeah, definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But just don't be a dick. Don't try to grab anybody after they suicide dive.
Oh, man.
I'm looking at you, chunky guy from AAA. Anyways, Luis Ariza sent in is this a text question?
It is a text question.
All right, it's a text question. And he asks, what's the worst finisher of the current era, of any company? Oh, that might change things. Any company.
He says, I love Cesaro, but his Gotch neutralizer doesn't look effective at all.
Yeah.
Any company. Are you going to say Rainmaker?
No, I love Rainmaker.
It's great.
I do think it's a bit on the silly side. And it's not the most convincing looking move in the world. But it's very powerful.
It is. It's booked powerfully.
I
That's all that
appreciate
matters.
that kind of stuff. No, I'm actually good with my
right.
answer. I'm good with that.
I'm going to say the Skull Crushing finale. Not that I mind the move. It's just booked so damn weak. What's the last time he won a match with just a Skull Crushing finale?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Far too often people kick out of it. He has to like do it on a chair or something like that.
Kind of similar to that. I'm going to go with the 619. It doesn't have the stank it used to.
That's not really what he uses as finisher anymore, though.
What does he use as finisher?
He does that and follows it up with like a top rope frog splash type deal.
That's right.
Historically, it was his finish.
Yeah.
He broke Cody Rhodes' orbital bone with the 619.
Well, what's the deal with that? Why was it good enough to be a finisher back then? And now it's not.
Times change, man.
People reverse that shit all the time.
Yeah.
That finisher is dropped off a cliff.
Kind of.
619.
I really wish Joe would go back to using the Muscle Buster. I understand it hurt somebody really bad, and for that reason, I understand why it's not used. But it's a cool move. It's a cool move. In a bubble, it's a cool move.
What's a lame... give it like... Within the context of everybody else's finishing moves in his class of the elite, Crossroads is kind of lame. You know, it's not like a one-winged angel or a Meltzer driver or whatever. What do Young Bucks use for their finishes?
Yeah, it's Meltzer driver.
Do they actually finish people that?
Yeah, that's how they won. That's how they beat Lucha Brothers.
Double or nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know. It's like, you know.
It's a standard WWE move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was used really effectively in his match against Dustin.
Yeah.
Because every high impact move that's supposed to be high impact was high impact.
I think, didn't Vince kick out of at least one?
Crossroads?
Yeah. Triple H kicked out of a couple.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. WWE people kicked out of a bunch.
Oh,
yeah, We Book Raw, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
Let's see here. Howdly doodly has a question.
Howdy Doodly Champ, yes.
The last question. You can go ahead and read this. And
this says this week's question comes from the fish and broccoli monster, Marcus Harrison.
Oh, no. Marcus, he found a way to wiggle into the Matt Chat questions? Oh, dang it.
What wrestling-related question would you ask each other to prove you're not a doppelganger?
So the situation is this. An alien has
it's like a body snatcher type situation.
Well, it's more like a shape-shifting situation.
All right.
Changeling shows up, and it's all...
We don't see that part of it, though.
Right, exactly.
If we saw the polymorph, we'd know it'd be a polymorph.
Unless they did the switcheroo, like they did in Star Trek.
All right.
In like many episodes of Star Trek. So like I'm sitting here in the morning, you walk in, right?
Yeah.
And then...
And I'm walking a little more rigid than normal, something like that.
Well, yeah, maybe.
There's a tell. There's got to be a mild, modest tell.
So just listen to me.
All right.
You walk in, you sit down, you're like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, good, man.
How's it
and
going,
then
Steve?
another Steve walks in.
Oh, wow.
So this is this scenario where there's two Steves,
gotcha,
okay?
gotcha.
And I'm like, whoa. And you're like, whoa.
I gotta
and
decide.
even this guy's like, whoa.
I got to decide who the real one is.
All right, exactly. Who's
real one?
Yeah, who's the real one?
So I'll look at Steve and other Steve, and I'll say, Steve's, tell me, who was your guy during the Attitude Era?
Or no, I thought you would say the question.
Oh, sorry.
You know about, I know about you.
Yeah, so you don't know about me, so I'd say, Steve's, what NBA player told us at a Sacramento Kings game that they were for life? And the real Steve would say...
Corliss Williams.
Yes.
Exactly. And the wrong Steve would go...
And he'd go, Animal Michael Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he'd slither away into the vent over there.
Yeah. Disperse into the air.
Right. So similarly, if I'm back there for a live stream and then Larson comes in...
You're flanked by two Larsons.
Yeah. I would say, Larson, who was my guy during the Attitude Era?
And fake Larson would say, Val Venus. And I, of course, would say Triple H because I know that's the right answer.
Exactly.
So thus proving I am
the real one.
Real one.
Exactly.
Bada boom.
Oh, man. Anyway, that's it for Matt Chat. Thanks, everybody, for your questions. We appreciate it. If you want to be involved in Matt Chat, go to patreon.com/Steven Larson. It's a lot of fun. It's like my favorite show. That friggin', what was his name? The something Free Chan?
Oh, Free Chan 64.
Oh, my God. That killed me. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.